Beje to jime do
Sheni de Gembo Sange Shendo Mete Bolwa Namda Shin La Cheva Dam Guru Ratna Manda Niyatayami.
那他今天，他原来听你就比那边写的了，对吧？原来你听你就他不这样嘛的吧？有一些上，
So the various classifications of those qualities.
他的考试过的是开展十当加起话写的。开展十当加起话是原来认为原来听你就比认为呢，少话全球孤单是，叫少话全球孤单了，他的小狗还是看书的。那么他就就比适当帮白对外，你我你过是吧
So those are classified as the profound Dhammakaya, Sabachugikuta, and the and then the Swabhavakaya. You have the Dhammakaya of realizations and the Dhammakaya of freedom or abandonments.
And you have
the second, which is the vast Sambhuvakaya body, body of enjoyments.
아니 주유도 주네 현대 중간에 가르래 세더라 소소 띄워 남지야 무슨도 현대 주에 단위 전부 초고 주고 시가나 다 롱고단 주고 이 야시 고라샤 대대사반 자체와
and then what are considered as the vast bodies are the Sambhogakaya and the supreme emanation body, Manakaya. So the Sambhogakaya, the Buddha's body of perfect enjoyments, is what is perceived by the bodhisattvas who are on the bhumis, who are on the bodhisattva levels, and therefore, therefore, ordinary sentient beings, since they cannot see this enjoyment bodies, so these enjoyment bodies do not accomplish the direct benefit for sentient beings. So for that you have the supreme emanation body that are directly perceived by ordinary sentient beings, and that directly benefits sentient beings.
아니 코와치스 마동게 파소 아니 칠레주 유미체도 주베 답이 제발체.
So what are the characteristics or the distinctions of these manifestations is that the longezube kutsungwe. That the Sambhogakaya holy body remains until samsara is empty, and so it is distinguished by the characteristic of being permanent.
아니 치지 말아 대단 충바 감다 삼바 파라냐 치다와 신도 체네 아니 되자 뒤 뒤당 누자 어떤데 그 뒤에 밥도 잡아 아니 구이나바 땡자 치지마로 배쳐봐
And then the Nirmanakaya body is distinguished by the characteristic of unmistaken manifestation, because when those emanation bodies manifest to benefit sentient beings, they do so in accordance with at the correct time, in accordance with the interest of the sentient beings, in accordance with the mental predispositions of the sentient beings. So catering to all of those needs, then they engage their manifestations, and so in that way they are distinguished by the characteristic of being an unmistaken emanation manifestation.
주비 잡아지체 나더니 가서래 감기 값을 아니 대위 잡아대 가르래서나 가상 알아서 명화라서 인지 명화라서기 인규 대다게 감대 장발라 때네 대위 잡아대 치려 주와 아니라나 연구하러 봐我他真的你人儿看淡了不比下巴拿心提起中啊起来就吃饱都那把下巴有啊妈的他过上件长久经我你这不当提着推你就把咱们长久拖呢俺那让先就推就把咱们的俺那长久给连续吃完了下过来
So with regards to the result of having this Tathagata essence, this basic element, then by applying the causal factors of devotion to the Maya and Dharma, compassion, so forth, then you purify this basic you purify this basic element, and then you achieve the result. And so the any kalsu number the
kalisi lesu chawa se de chanju se ge lesu chawa na shi chen ni tin de ma yin ba dan da kalsu re yegi sha de ga na mewa gi kham de dan de jang ba la de ne de wu an de zang de da da chi pa ro chen ba de top ge chen ni an de lesu chawa de sha ra ba da dan de tin de ma yin ba 아니 가서래 창조중 오니 아니 창조중 오니 대부 나는 뭐야다 버저 창조대 대부체 대부 창조 토발라 때네 아니 라센지 되니 주바 잠데 아니 레수샤와 상대나 현재 주바 잡아대 레수샤와
So you have previously when we talked about our function as applying to applying the purifying factors to the basic element through devotion to the Maya and Dharma and so forth like that, and you attain the permanent the purity, this bliss. You have these four results. You have function applied in that context. Here, in this, then the function is applied to the function of the state of enlightenment. What is the nature of that enlightenment? The nature of that enlightenment, when one attains the resultant state of perfect enlightenment, then the nature of this enlightenment is that it engages in the function of fulfilling the two activities of benefiting self and others.
인자 지식 퇴당 시단이 세상화 지식 퇴당 시단이 세대 longe 조유 과디 뒤코와 지식을 봐도 아니 말로 봐도 아니 tillen 주배 답이 쳐봐대체 지식 지단이 세건 아니 두지 캄나 삼바 팔라냐 천지기 아니 된저 강가 좀비 가나 아니 초고 두고 나바대니 맨날 좀 된데 냐면 샤자생기 전대 철자유 뒤라 아니 잠불린 그 두자 두이 뒤라 파디 가나 아니 신대 제와 시니 아니 초고 두고 나바대니 두자라 대시 총고 꼬와라 소와 채와대다 치만 양심 말이
So the feature here is that this Sambhogakaya body remains until the end of samsara in that way, then having the characteristic of being permanent and has this distinction, and then and because because it manifests emanations exactly in accordance with the need of the disciples at the appropriate time and appropriate time of interestment disposition. So you have this Nirmanakaya form, the emanation body. So just like in the case of the line amongst the Sakyas, the Shakyamuni Buddha's enlightenment, when the time came for manifesting the deeds of enlightenment, then then coming in, descending in this world, and turning the wheel of Dharma, so forth in this supreme emanation form, in accordance with the time and need of the disciples.
다양한테 제규하래. 좋아. 돔그 값어. 창주 규모. 창주 톱지 그 주선다 다진 대제가 최소한 톱지 주. 아니 그디 톱이 되고. 아니 ten이 주바길래. 아니 ten이 주바기 때 연대나 땜바. 아니 구숨지 주비라베당. 주비 때 차바디. 따바당 삼지 미자비 산제 제리가나 다 전제기권에 때나 박이봐. 다들 마카리가 샤한 거더라.
So just like when we explained, just like when we explained previously the basic element and all the sort of the characteristics attributed to this basic element, in the same way in explaining enlightenment is the same, the nature of that enlightenment, the cause for that enlightenment, the result of that cause, and as due to attaining that result, then accomplishing the activities of fulfilling the two types of benefits on the basis of having the qualities that are permanent, inconceivable, and the classifications of the three types of bodies. The classification of the three types of kusungi rabyeche ani kusungi. And so that's in the root text. So the nature is the nature of that enlightenment. And the causes refer to those causes to attain that enlightenment.
And the
result refers to the result of attaining that enlightenment. And the functions refer to the two activities benefiting self and others. And then being endowed with those qualities, being endowed with those qualities to accomplish the activities of the two types of benefit. And the classifications of the three Buddha bodies, the Svabhavakaya, the Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya, are the manifestations of the three Buddha bodies.
ane takpa yubi chepa te takpa tang.
And then the characteristics of those manifestations is the next one, which are like maybe that it is permanent.
Samji mijawa inde samji mijawa yiji ane sanje ji sai changju de tenje ge gwana tana tapkre se. Sanje sani yamba sha.
That it is permanent. Here it says eternal and eternal and inconceivable in character. So these are the 8 qualities that distinguish enlightenment.
다 된다기 당보 창조 중 오당 톱지 주니오디 셔야되라. 가서 여기 감시와 나시 전에 유당 오다 창조 톱지 주 셔야되라. 다 창조공 오 셔야되라. 창조되라. 딱 다시 주와 나시 전에 추구되라. 아니 가서래 빵바 추구지당 이시 아니 가서래 이시 추구 이 예배 나네. 빵바 추구 대라양 라시 남닥당 라시 남닥공 오니고다 누구 남닥공 오니고 이요 이 말이.
So again, to explain enlightenment, it is explained in the context of the nature of that enlightenment, the causes that generate the enlightenment, the same, exactly the same format as when we explain the basic element, nature of the element and the causes and so forth like that. So here, what the nature of enlightenment there is in that Dhammakaya has the Dhammakaya abandonments and the Gnosis Dhammakaya. You have these 2, and what are regarded as the Dhammakaya abandonments is the abandonment of the purity of the natural defilements, Renshinamda, and purity from the adventitious defilements.
다 된다왜 란신남다테 딱 공동 가서 망벌 침바 나신 전에 샘쟁이 유지 샘지 란신 여사와 대라신 내리데 아니 다 제마 체다도 손데 탈 제마 서비스 세바 대라다 란신남다 시고아데 란신남다 그 차중 오니고데 돈이 되라 산재기.
So this purification of the natural defilements, which is referred to as the Buddha's body of nature, the Swabhavakaya holy body, which is emptiness. It refers to that clear light nature of the mind, from which all defilements are made extinct.
that 란신 여사学강의 니당 가신 로부지 니모시지 증조도 비트바이 주주바 세대기다 자와티 송과래.
Then the root text is verse 2, verse 3. Buddhahood is that which is called pure and radiant, shining like the sun, and immaculate like the sky, which was darkened by obscurations of defilement and ignorance, as by dense multitudes of clouds.
Oh yeah, that is the what she did. Ranxin Yuesa said, Simji Ranxin Yuesa was Sigana, Ranxin La Chimel, Leba Mashuba, Dinzing Jova Mashuba.
So
I didn't do Chimel Tabainza, Ranxin Yuesa Shechaba.
Naturally luminous. This naturally luminous refers to the fact that that is nature is not that in its nature it is undefiled. There is no defilement in its nature.
Then there is some Ranxin Yuesa, that Ranxin every day. So this this
nature of the mind, which is naturally pure, at the time of being on the path of training, then it was totally obscured by the adventitious defilements.
어디 님모 시지 지바탕 아니 시지 지바 니난 추비 시지 지바 파자단 제위 아니 징조 뚜보기 지바이 지바 추와
and as well as by the the obscuration to knowledge, the view of the imprints of the view of duality, and like dense multitudes of clouds then has obscured this natural purity, the clear light, the luminous mind.
지바이니 지바를 추와데 다 림바 신도 천이데 내 줄데 아니 산제게 사토바 괜찮나 아니 지바니기 타비 아니 산제고 뭐 산제 지바니기 타바나 텐라와데라 아니 산제시 주그래
So
산제기
then gradually as one purifies all this defilement and all these defilements, obscuring defilements from this suchness, then one attains the Buddhahood. One attains the Buddhahood, which is the purity from these two types of obscurations. So, and that is the nature of that enlightenment.
아니 타자 고담 아니 춘이 지당 고담 지당 그냥 이些루부지 테마래 초위 방비 이세지 이용고와 이용고와 연장 이와의 이세다 방바다 텔라덴비연데 스투송가래.
And then when one is totally purified of the adventitious defilement, as a result of that, you have that purity, which is the cessation, purity of the cessation of those adventitious defilements, and as well as the gnosis of that particular abandonment.
아니 전단된 바양 아니 니마 요사와 나신전에 전단된 바 무슨 또바나 산제 세고인 바다
like shining like the sun is is referring to the direct realization of the ultimate truth, and that is Buddhahood. 전단도마 무슨 또바
산제 전단도마 무슨 또바 타침바나 안에 산제.
So when one has the completion of that direct insight into ultimate truth, then that is Buddhahood.
난가 신도 랑신지 타바라 안에 처음에 비산제 방바데라 방바데 담보에 또바데 체 또바데 So
the realization is that complete insight into the ultimate truth, complete insight of the the direct insight into the ultimate truth is the Buddha. That's the realization, and then being free of all of the being free of all of the objects of abandonment, immaculate like the sky. Being free is the quality of the complete abandonments.
Then nanga tobe를 자지 타바. nanga 신도 아니 랑신지 타바라 처음에 비산제니 다들 방바들하자.
Just like the space that is an absence of obstructing contact, so also this Buddhahood, in a state of in its undefiled state, in its stainless mode, is the quality of that abandonment. Chimamapana Pangbe Yun Den Wa.
Nanga Chindwell, Nanga Tobeka, Tobe Richa, Tade, Tobe Richa, Gazan and Bachan Shinteni, Ranshi Tabala, Chima Besanje.
So just like the space, which is the absence of contact and obstruction like this. In the same way, that purity, this natural purity, is what is known as the stainless Buddhahood.
That's my check. The demon to tell my son. Timmer Sanje, Yuan Gunden, Dadan Yundu, Sanje Ni. Timmer Sanje, Yuan Gunden, Dadan Yundu, Yuni, that ended. Tell a deed to go. Sanje Yuan Gundan Dembena, Dabatan. Dembatan Yundu said, and then Gawadan, Gawa Mebatan, Nawa Mebata, Chiwa Meba, and Yimba in Zang, de la Chiguade.
Then
Timmer Sanje, Yuan, Timmer Sanje, that Chisonga, Nangaranshi, Tabata, Timam Besanje said. That did Dade Yundu said, Sanje Yuan, Gundan Dembe, Dabatan, Dembata Yundu said, Gawadan, Nawa, the Chiwa Mebana, that's what it is.
So when we talk about the stainless Buddha qualities, like like the immaculate like the sky, denoting the stainless Buddha quality, that and then where it's now perfectly pure, possessed of all the properties of Buddha, is eternal. Is eternal, referring Tabe Yunde Karsungre. Tabe de Karsuma.
Tabe Yunde said, Sanje Yunde Gundan Dembana Tabata.
Is eternal here means, being endowed with all the qualities of Buddhahood, eternal in that sense, and permanent, or eternal and firm and indestructible. Firm and indestructible refers to being free of birth, aging, sickness, death, like that. Free of that, firm and indestructible in that respect.
Oh yeah, that's it. Here, Sanjani, Tenny Chilla Mito, Namji Shitala, then a top, said the Tawa TV.
It is attained on the foundation of the knowledge of the truth, which is free from dialectical thought construction.
That Tenny said that a change of Jimo, Tenny, and a Chelana Mito be she. Says a Chelana Mito be she, and I Chitao to be she. Says a Tamja Rabdo number GB she, and I Chinia to be she Tala, then and a Tobachabare.
So, this meaning referring to the this enlightenment of such a nature, how it is attained is by this non-conceptual gnosis, which has the knowledge of all phenomena exactly for what it is, and which has that gnosis of knowing every phenomena.
That didn't march. That Java Shabbat in my Leo said, that didn't our teller. Chinichella, Mito Namji, Yetala, then at top. Denida Java Shedugana, Sanje Nini, Yemeba, Tambi Chuji, Rabcheba. Nima Kashin, Yesheda, Bangbani, Tenito, Zawana.
And then the fourth stanza, the root verse for the expanded explanation. The state of the Buddha is characterized by the indivisible, purest properties. It has the resemblance with the sun and the sky in its character of wisdom and purity.
Oh yeah, that day, Sanje Nini Yemeba said, Karisongore, Taban Yidan Dembi, Ranshinji number Tabada. Lubuji Timan, number Nidan Debbie, Sanjaji Chanjumni, Sanjaga Chanjumini, Sanjaji Yende, Tamje, Rangung Oyukone, it may be Shitang,
So when we talk about the state of Buddha, it's characterized by the indivisible purest properties. Indivisible purest properties here refer to the two purities. Purity of the natural defilements and the adventitious defilements of these two purities. This enlightenment of the Buddha, endowed with all the qualities, by nature, in its nature, it is indifferentiable, indivisible. So this is the Dhammakaya of realizations. So the suchness with defilements, when it is when the suchness with defilements, when it is purified, then it becomes that natural and this natural purity, which is the Buddha's body of nature, the Swabhavakaya. And when it is purified of the adventitious defilements, then that is the abandonment. And so then you have qualities that arise on the basis of these, and the qualities that are distinguished as being eternal, firm, indestructible, like that. So below the stanza is elaborating on those qualities, the Dhammakaya of realizations and the qualities of abandonments, explaining it in detail. It has the resemblance. It has a resemblance with the sun and the sky in its character of wisdom and purity. So the Dhammakaya of realizations, that gnosis and the qualities of abandonment, which is the composite, which is the state of the purity, the two purities, what is that realization referring to? Is the like the sun, like the sun. Then like the sun, then this gnosis has the direct perception, has the direct realization of all phenomena, exactly how they exist, and of knowing all knowing phenomena exactly, and knowing every phenomena directly. So the sun here is likened to the Dhammakaya of realizations, and the space or the sky is likened to the qualities of abandonment.
인바 대신도 루부지 첨마당 답에 루부지 첨에 답이 빵빵이 세가나 오니고 내 루부 남다게 찾주용 오니고다 라신 남다게 찾주용 오니고 니지뒤 빵빵이지뒤비 천이도.
So, like the space that is an absence, total absence of obstruction and contact, in the same way, then the quality of the abandonment is the swabhavakaya, which is the purity of the natural defilements and the purity from the adventitious defilements. So on. So both of these two abandonments, from the perspective of its suchness, the suchness of these two abandonments then refer to the purity from the natural defilements, the swabhavakaya, which is the purity from the natural defilements, and the swabhavakaya, which is the purity from the adventitious defilements. So the qualities that arise out of such abandonment is by nature, radiant. It is radiant and uncreated. The fifth verse. It is radiant and uncreated in those qualities that arise from such forms of abandonment. And so, because its nature is uncreated, because its nature is uncreated, uncompounded, so it is not something newly generated out of causes and conditions. This suchness of the natural purity, which by nature is empty, and so those, from the perspective of its nature, then it is manifest without differentiation. From the perspective of its nature, then it manifests indivisibly. It manifests indivisibly from the perspective of its nature. That's the second line, which says it manifests itself in its indivisible essence. The suchness of the natural purity, which is the Buddha's mind, which by nature is empty. So those manifestations, when they manifest, they are indivisible from this nature. So even though its nature, it is indivisible in nature, from indivisible in nature, in its being its nature being by nature empty, indivisible from this state. Yet the manifestations are like limitless are like limitless. Those qualities of the manifestations are limitless, like the far surpassing the atoms of the sand grains of the river Ganga. And so that's the last two lines of the fifth verse, which says, and is possessed of all the properties of the Buddha, which excel in their number the sands of the Ganges.
That is when a Bombay and then a dengue yuna, Bamba topi and the Tetabu and Dana, and the Bamba country Bamba say. So the next is, if you say, these are all the qualities of abandonment, these are all the qualities of realizations. The next is then the question, what are the qualities? What are those qualities of abandonment? So that's the sixth verse. Being by their very essence unreal, pervasive and occasional, the obscuration of defilement and of ignorance are spoken of as resembling clouds. So, being by their very essence unreal means, just like the clouds the clouds do not exist in the nature of the sky or the space. In the same way, the defilements do not exist in the nature of our mind. 아니 찹단 루부와니지 세가 찹단 세가라 증기나가라 찹바나신 아니 삼전 탐제지 시주라 아니 라신 남다 그 가서라 오라신 샘된 동암 아니 샘지 샘라신지 남바다바 라신에리 찹바레
And pervasive, what does pervasive mean? Just like the clouds pervade the sky. In the same way, then sentient being's mind is pervaded by this natural purity. What is this natural purity? Is in the mind being empty of true existence. This natural purity of the mind pervades all sentient beings' minds.
다더니 루부와 니지칠 세가라 징로부도 중화나신시 아니 치마야 루부와 니비치리 굉장히 대체나 녀모비 등바당 세지 집안 이보테스타 녀모비 집안이 니루샤 소 타바타바라 파도 제치체 세지 집안에 소 탐자 첨바라 타바라 파도 제제기 세지 집안에 아니 징단차와 줘봐인
And it is occasional, just like there's clouds that obscure the sky are occasional. So also the defilements. The defilements are also adventitious. Are also adventitious. The two types of obscurations, the afflicted obscurations that obscure attainment of liberation, the obscuration to knowledge that obstruct attainment of enlightenment. They are those two types of obstructions are also adventitious, occasional.
아니 창조되라 또바 추구당 아니 가서래 아니 방바 추구니 여러와
So this freedom from these two two obstructions are known as the Dhammakaya of realizations and the Dhammakaya of abandonments.
오텐데비 기반이단 자위 방도지 시추구 니워디 톱지기 규대 가르레 세나
So what are the causes for attaining these two Dhammakayas, Dhammakaya of realization and Dhammakaya of abandonments?
기반이단 자와이 윤이 이신이 인데
So the causes for these two are the two types of gnosis, are the two gnosis, or the two exalted knowers.
냥샤 남바 미도 이신이 워데 가르레 세나 냥샤 남바 미도 비시 제가나 아니 냥샤 이시체 디니 제라 토바 세자 친이와 토바 테니 이신이 스데도
So what are the two gnosis? One is the non-conceptual gnosis of the equipoise, and that equipoise in its and that gnosis in its post-equipoise phase of knowing all the varieties of phenomena are the two gnosis.
미도바단 대이 제도티니 이시데 미도바 냥샤나바 미도바 이시 디제라 토비 아니 제도니워데 아니 방도기 추구니워데 톱지기 줄라리 레세
So this non-conceptual gnosis at the state of in the state of an equipoise and the later gnosis of post-equipoise, these two gnosises, these two exalted knowers, are the two causes for the Dharmakaya of realizations and the Dharmakaya of abandonment. That's the seventh of
안루부지 츠마 남바 타바단 대비 타바니단 대비 남바 타바니 다 춘이 내 용수 춘이 제작이 셈데 내 용수 추디 츠마 세비 아니 춘이 용수 츠마 세비 아니 춘이 그 뭘 추와디 춘이 그내서 용 추와디 대대시거래
So in the root verses we've covered the obscurations of defilement and of ignorance are spoken of as resembled clouds. The causes for the removal of these two obscurations are the two kinds of highest wisdom, that which is free from dialectical construction and that which follows the concentrated trance. So when one accomplishes the two purities, the purity from natural defilements and the purity from the adventitious defilements, then one is, these purities that are attained in the scope of total extinction of defilements, then is what allows for this complete transformed basis. Completion of a transformed basis. So So, as a result of meditating upon those two causes, the causes of the non-conceptual gnosis of equipoise, and meditating on the gnosis of the post-equipoise, then, as a result of this, then you have the next stanza. What that result is all about. And so for that, again, it has a brief explanation, expanded explanation, so forth like that.
냠샤기 내가서 로야 내가서 아니 냠샤기 내가 로이 갑이감라 다 냠샤기 내가서 내롱고선도 더 냠샤이 저 공비 대부라 다 년주다 자위 차와당 차와지 년주 차위 차와지 토그와래 와 저기 인간 대샤바 되라 자와래스다
So when on the path of training, then by generating those meditative placement or equipoise on the ultimate mode of of existence, the nature, and the way in which things exist by meditating on this or emptiness, then one is removed from the obscuration of afflictions, and so for that you have the root verse.
That is our Kimi Chuderimge Bemek Swashindang Dajan Kanada Tawanya Tabutang said that
like a lake full of the purest water and covered by lotuses that have developed gradually, like the full moon delivered from the jaws of Rahu, like the sun free from all obscuration. Like the sun free from all obscuration. Caused by the dense multitude of clouds, it is possessed of immaculate properties, is radiant and illuminating.
Oh, yeah, that is a digala. Chimmy said the Chimmy Chuder in Yabama kept stretching down, say Gala. Chima may be chutan dancing. Rimji Jerry and a Bama kept stretching to said the Bella.
So, like the example of a very clean, stainless, purest water, then full lake water that is covered with lotuses, that as the example.
Bella Tekuni, and it Desha separate Bambe, Chima may be and then the damage down.
Like this example, then, being endowed with the quality of having totally exhausted, having totally exhausted attachment.
What is it? Dajan Kana Tawanya Tabutang, Segala. That's Satajan Kana Tarawaki, Danya Tabus, Sanjungi Taipechan Sungware, Radadi, Dajan Kana Tawanya Watabu, Shedan Sebar Pane, and a Chima may be Chambatan, Inji set a temper.
So, and like the full moon delivered from the jaws of Rahu, is an example to illustrate the total extinction or exhaustion of anger, and being radiant and illuminating in the qualities of loving kindness, compassion, and so forth.
아니 증기 초지 초탈에 초위 아니 니마 빼다 샤니 니몬제지 때문에 세바를 밤배 아니 처음에 비셔럽다 나와다 담바 티니도
So like the sun free from all obscuration, then to illustrate being free of the afflictions of ignorance and having the radiance like that of the sun.
Oh, 나를 감대라 베베 가수 아니 투비 주조당 장지단 주인님보다人间세당 싸우기 때다 전바당 처음에 세야가 텐지 두자고요. 어때? 텐지 두자고 대시주 구당 사다 겨우다 세지 수는 랑기 집제라 타다 초와 티타나 아니 집제들 초디가나 아니 장지단 뒤닝보다 리지살라 좋아 대통나시다 대배스단데 지바리 송아래
So, like the highest of sages, like the honey and like the kernel of a fruit, like precious gold, like a treasure and like a tree, like the immaculate images of the Buddha, like the ruler of the earth, and like the golden statue, such is Buddhahood.
제도 그 사람고 초고비 대우 쳐봤으면 된비 세야돼 딜레상 거로 나중에 냠샤기 제불아 냠샤기 다단다디 제도 여기 니와다 지금 무슨 년주당 차와샤바당 다시 제도 그 사람도 초고비 대우 쳐봤으면 된디 시류지 수고 연대 쳐봐셔야더라 오다든다 딜 단디디
So previously when we talked about the like the late
제도 그 사람이 초고미 대우 쳐봤으면 된비 시립 지방비 수구 연대 셔봐 세대 다들 자와들라 투어 추조 장진님보다 人间社当得当全把心，只没人间的需求，不当你萨达设计属你属着教完你，是的，我打腾起隔壁直接得了，直接古有娃呀，上街办个长的长么了，原来你们没上那社区，我这个打开始是啦，我那是看电了，别告诉前边上街就古当，上街长子办。 아니 주인님 보다 이제 세당 아니 싸워기 때당 신인 전바당 주마메 비린 인진의 세위 대시주 구당 사다 자오당 세지 수는 다른 그 집제다라 초디 잠바 저와 집제다라 초디 잠바 아니 구정문도 좋아도 와 어떤 집제라 좋아당 자와 야와니 시루타다 사바그 연된다 담바 시와차오 시루타다 그 연된다 담바 시와차오
So these examples as denoted in the ninth stanza, then just like when there was the explanation of the basic element, then these are what are to be accomplished. And and you have the these are the examples of what is what has been obscured, and when these are kind of delivered from its obscuring obscuring phenomena, then these are the qualities as denoted by these illustrations that are attained. And so this is all of these qualities are attained through the practices that one employs in the post-equipoise phase. Tande su genge denso pegu de sumba denso nyam jetok ki nekap su ge nyamlengi.
jetok ki nekap su 시립단 차와 땡是吧 제도기 소남 그 초, 혼비 대부대라 아니 차바 숨난 대시 시립방비 수구 연된데 토교하러 왔어. 어디 비배라다 감 장발라 때네 아니 집자 현지 집장하고 집자 고도 원도 추하다 숨바 시립 타다를 잡아 소지 연단데 담바래.
So in the post-equipoise phase, when one engages in the manifold practices of accumulation of merit, then one attains this result of this form body, which is free of the form body, which is free of the obstruction to knowledge. This form body, which has these three characteristics of being free of these obstructions. So when one purifies the basic element, then what is actualized are these nine qualities.
No, that is it. I saw them. You see, 其他我的亲友都比一些个牛巴就比有几点不得了，几点得送个啥的，那得了，哦。
And then the next is the general explanation of the potential of these two gnosis. The gnosis of that gnosis knowing phenomena exactly, and that gnosis knowing all phenomena. So showing explaining the potency or the potential of these two gnosis.
他得了早了，其实说行，在家说，如果你们他把你，那没多一些，就这个人把他的这，啊。
So similar to the waters of a lake and the like, in the state of perfect purity, the liberation from desire and the other occasional defiling forces, it is in short spoken of as the result of the wisdom free from thought construction.
So
it's referring to the examples that were in the previous verses. So the undefiled water, full of lotuses. The moon, which has been delivered from the jaws of Rahu, it means the eclipses here. And likewise, attachment, anger, and ignorance. And being purified of these adventitious defilements are the result of this non-conceptual gnosis.
Number Quincy short and Besanja Guning Toba. Can you tell Toba? Is it in but
So the next verse, which is the verse 11, the certain attainment of the three bodies of the Buddha, possessed of the highest of the forms of existence, is demonstrated as being the result of the wisdom following the transcendental contemplation.
Tabji number Queen Jimbala Sovi Tabji number Jimbala Sovi, so Mazama Mebala Drubi. Tanam Gucci Tony Sigara, and yet Tony Tobella. Drubi, number Queen, number Quincy Chodan Debbie, Sanjeji, Kusumni, never Tobatin, Tobateni, Jela Tobai, Yishiji Dewi, but that all.
So, one's practices of the method complete in all the aspects, meaning that exalted wisdom, which is completely endowed in all the supreme aspects, meaning like the practices of generosity and so forth, in conjunction with emptiness, such as these practices of the method, which is endowed with that wisdom, complete in all the supreme aspects. So these results are these are the results of such wisdom.
Oh yeah, dan digi sanje yi sai ga su nyam sha dan jie zuo xia yai de lu yu sai na sha na xin lu yu sa la nyam jie ren zuo me ba nyam jie ren zuo me do me wa chen nyam sha di jie le jie do jie ma do nyam sha dang an li jie do ti ji de jie me ba da zhan jie ge sai jie zuo xie de ka re se na nyam jie ren zuo ma yin ba nyam jie wo ji ba san ji ge na xi chen ni lo yu ne ga su nyam jie wo ta de ba da nyam jie ren zuo zuo ba ten zhe ma yin ba san jie ge tu ji la nyam jie wo ta de ba da shu gu da su gu ni yang wo ta de me ba da一些说是个垃圾没在为钱的下个哎，是吧？其他我当年都被钱的。
In the state of Buddhahood, then there is no differentiation of equipoise or post-equipoise like how it is on the path of training, where equipoise. Where it is equipoise and post-equipoise is it occurs alternatively. It cannot occur at the same time. In the state of Buddhahood, then equipoise and post-equipoise is one in nature. It's one, just as Buddha's truth body and the form body are also one in nature. So it's in that state of Buddhahood, these are all one in nature. But the way that transcendental wisdom manifests, its imprints is different.
Oh yeah, 但我才在把明白，哪些没在有关呢？
So
那其他话我什么都比强呢？当年我什么都比强呢？现在其他话水平俺们见才强。所以我工作假期工作那把明白话我什么都比强呢？现在企业话都比些才强呀。
So in the state of Buddhahood, it's one in nature. Equipoise, post for truth, body, form. All there's no divisibility in that nature. There's no. But the way in which that gnosis, that exalted knower, puts forward an imprint, lays an imprint, is different. For example, if it is a gnosis, knowing exactly phenomena, exactly for what they are, knowing emptiness, then it is it is an exalted knower, knowing the absolute. And when it is a knower knowing all the varieties of phenomena, then it is a knower of the conventionalities. So in that way, the imprints of those gnosis are different, but all of those gnosis, all of those exalted knowers are one in nature. Lakchegi tanda khares warsa. Ta nyamsha ta
khase se de lapak je chaba na shi. Ra chida wa to bi yi yin bi chane. Ane kaza tongyin to bi ngosum to bi yi yin bi chane. Ane khola ane shi je chida wa chi bi nam jin che. 现在企业吧，假设吧，我什么都被钱呢，钱提哪些个钱呢？哪些提钱呢？安尼企业吧都被那么件事，都下个，都被我那下个。
So the imprints of those gnosis being different, meaning like if it is a gnosis knowing emptiness, then it is the imprint of that particular gnosis of knowing phenomena exactly for what they are. If it is a gnosis knowing all the varieties of phenomena, the imprint is said to be the imprint of that gnosis knowing the conventions.
the better chachani. That is la bamba chugu teki, banja de la to sumshani. There's a several bang but cheating jaya de la.
Tanda chaya de kare. Topa ishi chugu. So this completes the example and explanation of the example with regards to the the Dhammakaya of realizations, and the next verse is the Dhammakaya of abandonments through the removal of the dust of desire. That one. So what abandonment here refers to the abandonment of the three poisons, first of them being the poison of desire. Through the removal of the dust of desire, and by pouring forth the waters of transic meditation to the converts that resemble lotuses, Buddhahood is like a lake of purest water. The lotus is likened. The lotus is likened to the disciples, the trainees, in the context of their having, totally exhausted desire, attachment. So
so accomplishing that kind of abandonment by never being by never being removed from the state of meditative concentration, by not being removed from that state of meditative concentration. Samba Palanya, Chitawachi, the Chambatilla Sigina, or Tendigana, Chundusumji, any Chundusumji Gona, Dujala, Pan, Dorby, any Samdangi, Chupavi, Chili, Sanja de, any Bama Kipich, any Chutabe, Tinda Sumba. So the Buddhas, by their physical display of their psychic powers, miraculous powers, then draw the disciples, and then after having drawn the disciples, then with their speech they show the Dharma, and with their mind, knowing the disciples' mental dispositions and interests and so forth, then correctly engage in the activities benefiting them. So in that context, the Buddhahood is like a lake of purest water. There is this rainfall of these Buddha activities
of miraculous physical displays, the speech of the Dharma, and the holy mind, that which engages with sentient beings, knowing their predispositions and their interests and benefiting them. There's the rainfall, there is a rainfall of these. There is a rainfall of these Buddha activities on the disciples that are resembled here by lotuses.
Oh yeah, that thing, there's a Sabapambi, changing the age.
So
That is a Sabapambi changing the la.
So this completes the verse on the total exhaustion of attachment, and next is the total exhaustion example for the total exhaustion of anger.
That's our la. Shedan Drajan Lay Truba, Ninji Champion USG, Dora Chabi Chinaji, Timendawa Javashin.
Being delivered from the Rahu of enmity, it pervades all that exists by the rays of commiseration and highest love. Therefore, it is like the immaculate full moon.
Oh yeah, this one. Oh, that thing, Shedan Bambi, Annie Chudija Della Casure. Tanda della Susana Shin. Shedan Drajan Lay Trova, Sergala, Semjan la Mibi. Annie Shedan Drajan Lay Trova, Shedan Bambe. Annie Semjan 동안 다 자들이 인제당 너와다 된데기 참바 침비에서기 아니 좋아타다라 차위 치나 아니 산제지 팀만미비 안 다와냐와다 배송하래.
So being delivered from the anger or enmity, focusing on sentient beings, being freed of that, being delivered, being freed of that, then you have the compassion, wanting to free all sentient beings from suffering, and the loving kindness, wanting to see all sentient beings in happiness. So they, one is endowed with that immaculate full moon, referring to the full moon of compassion and loving kindness that pervades all sentient beings. That pervades all sentient beings, so therefore, then as a result of that, you have the attainment of that kind of stainless Buddhahood.
그래서 세상 기타전라 초에 아니 동안의 장주기 인제단 대화를 된데기 참바 침비에서이 안 좋아 타다라 차위 치나 안에 산제 정말 몇 나와냐와신 세가나 가세
so
인지 잠시 USG 좋아 차비 치나데 팀에 나와냐와신 다와티
so being delivered from that enmity of anger, focusing on sentient beings, then one is endowed with the light of the compassion and loving kindness which pervades all sentient beings, and therefore that state of Buddhahood is stainless like the full moon.
Oh.
So the illustration for our abandonment of ignorance. So being free from the clouds of infatuation or ignorance, Buddhahood removes all darkness in the living beings by the rays of its divine wisdom, having thus a resemblance with the sun, free from every stain.
스크린지 초래 초외 아니 로와라 치다와 또바이 남제다 치다와다 다 진여바 집이 이시지 유세지 치다와다 심어도비 이시지 유세지 조이 민바 세위치 로와타다 두자노지 민바 세위치 아니 상제니 테니 그만메바기 니만나 신도 시와 차오 said.
So, the ignorance here referring to the ignorance grasping at true existence. So, this cloud of the darkness of ignorance then is removed. In this cloud of the darkness of ignorance, which covers sentient beings, is removed from the sentient beings by this exalted knower, knowing phenomena exactly, and knowing all the varieties of phenomena. And in removing this darkness of the ignorance from sentient beings, then this resembles this then is compared to being like the sun, which is free of every stain, stainless.
다 뒤제라. that's 뒤제라. this 자와라. 미념념비 최치당. 데려와오. 미념념비 최치당. 담제 론이 진짜당. 신바탄의 차지지 대시 장진 인부신. 어디기?
And then the next verse. It is possessed of properties incomparable with others and equal only with the Buddhas. It spreads the flavor of the highest doctrine and is free from the coverings of the obscurations. Therefore, it is like the Buddha of the Buddha, like honey and like the kernel of a fruit.
미념념비 최치당 현 강다양 미념바 상계단 념비原点지 최단된비 치당 미념연대 최대치
So
미념비 최치당
possessing the properties that does not does not compare with anything else, equaling only that of the Buddha.
现康大样明年把上届的年比原来去确认干把印章上届的这些提醒是故意摆上去啊。
Because those qualities that one is endowed with, because those qualities that one's endowed with, if those qualities equal that of the Buddha, then that is in that way. Then you use the example of the Buddha image.
탐지론이 진짜당 세이간라 아니 탐비치지로 푸드 중화 진바 자바당 아니 자바당 탐비치지로 푸드 중화 진바 자바 인장 장지다 배전샤.
And because it bestows the flavor, the taste of the Dharma, the very best of the taste, the most perfect of the taste of the flavor of Dharma, then it is likened to the honey.
아니 드미지 드바니지 신바단 차위치나 아니 님보다 배자니.
So because it has been removed from the sheath of the two types of obscurations, so it is likened to the kernel of a fruit.
인자 민년년비 최제다 담주인진 진제다 신바탄이 차지지 대시 장지 인부신 스타베투 샤인 말에.
So it is possessed of properties incomparable with others and equal only with the Buddha. It spreads the flavor of the highest doctrine and is free from the coverings of the obstructions. Therefore, it is like the body of the Buddha, like honey and like the kernel of a fruit.
That is the subject the Kung body, Jedo, Jay Beding, Chedi Shabaseta, you show such a Shumachira. That is Jella. The Shetan Bushing said, Tajiri and then Zagini, who was ever Chechitan. Namdo Debu Jinji, certain dead and Jambashing. Or Digi, Zawadi.
So then the next root verse 16, it is pure by the richness of its properties. It removes all moral poverty and brings to maturity the fruit of deliverance. It is thus like gold, like a treasure, and like a tree.
That's the Kasur, Deva Kandis Udayasana, Rashi Tapichitang. Rashi la Timele Meba, Rashi Matuba Yinzang, Rashi Tapichitang. Yuandenji Zeji, Anish, Chenji Ua Seva Chabata. Shava Resonga. Taji Ua said, and then Zeji, Taji, Gaze, Taji, Yuanden Zeji, Ua Seva Chechitang.
And it is pure, referring to the natural purity that the defilements do not contaminate the nature, the nature. So it's pure, and by the richness of its properties means all those qualities. Richness of those qualities, those are the qualities that remove the poverty.
In the number of any member chibi, senior Mobata Shiji Jubala Trobi, and a number of Trobi Trebu, Imba Chibi. That in the Imba Chibichina, Sanje de Ranshiji Tabi China, Setatsu, Seji Ranshila Yamashuba in the Setatsumba. Tergi, any Dujanamji, Uunamji, Ua Seva Chaba Nam Imba Yinzang, Yuandenji, Deji was Seva Chaba, and Tetatsumba. Ani Kasore, Namduji Devu, Nyumba Shiji Triba Pambi, Namduji Devu, Jimba Chaba Chena, Jimba Yimbe. Ani Jambadang, Sing Jambadang, Bereja to Simbad.
So, and then liberation and freedom is attained as a result of abandoning the two obstructions. So, because of the future of its purity, its natural purity, it is likened to the gold. And because, like a treasure, when one, like the ordinary treasures that eliminate property, those, those qualities, qualities, then what removes the poverty, and then, and just like just like when one is removed of the two obstructions, then freedom of that liberation is attained. Then in that context, then it is likened to a tree.
Oh yeah, Atini, Tichela, Kasore, Rinji Chich Kuchitang. Kani Dabi Chachitang, Renji Sujin Nambichi, Tini Renji Jasing.
And the next stanza, as it represents the precious cosmical body, is the highest lord of all the bipeds, and appears in the most precious of forms. It is like a precious image, a king and a golden statue.
Renji Kuchitang, say Gana. Rinpoche, Tobayu, Junga Gunshi, Chimini, Tudan Chitan, Yanjuchi, Yanjuchina, Chonichi, Sena Chenda, 也有工作的留个了算那些简单艺术呀，中华关系的，一旦人不其他的，人间多把一些去求过，多把一些去求过，但呢，其他话的今年吧多比一些地吧，多把一些去求过，因为其他正在这个啊。
So, as it represents the precious, here is the precious truth body, Dharmakaya. So, this Dharmakaya is the Dharmakaya of realizations, the gnosis of the gnosis Dharmakaya, knowing exactly and knowing everything.
我要人家去过去趟。
So and then it's given the term precious because everything that which is precious is very rare. So to denote the rarity of it, then you have it's likened to you have this term precious.
当你大比超起堂，是的，浪就左右固的。啊，你看是你，刚你那么就叫上家今天那么就是超，是的，刚你没那么就超了，是这里看。一个浪就左右做，刚你年纪大不超一个起堂，是吧？
And then is the highest lord of all the bipeds, referring to the Sambhogakaya. In amongst all the bipeds, then referring to that Sambhogakaya, which is the object of our refuge.
那错个主顾，是吧？错个主顾，错个主顾是一个呢。啊，你对家人生是了，全国过，做不了顾啊。 怎么公开的？俺那给弄给那把简单了，错个主顾是个买的，怎点得到是吧？现在为错个主有过的，人家给书记那把人不去，书记那把人被气呐。等你大爷个，多把一些求过的，人家那些有过大别冲吧。浪就作为过的，可能就会叫我的别冲吧。错个主过的，谁来教育？俺的中年那是别冲吧。
And so, and then appears in the most precious of forms, referring to the Nirmanakaya, in this supreme emanation form, then turning the wheel of Dharma for the individuals of the three types of lineages, assuming the aspect of an ordained monk. So in this way, then you have you have the Dharmakaya of gnosis, or which is the Dharmakaya of realizations, then symbolized by the precious. It's like a precious image, and the Sambhogakaya body. Symbolized by the wheel-turning king, Chakravartin king, and then the Nirmanakaya, the supreme emanation body, then a golden statue. So this completes the explanation with regards to the nature, the cause, and the result of enlightenment.
Yeah.
So we'll stop here. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 12, it's specifically the abandonment of
Desire.
Desire that the result is the physical manifestation that disciples can perceive. the physical manifestation of the psychic powers, the bodies that the disciples pursue, that's specifically a result of the abandonment of desire.
단지 슐러가 중리데 단다 드차 방베데 단다 그래서 드차 방베데 자와데라 겐딜 데시스크나 크랑게 추 디데시들 겐게 단다 쿠즈 줄다 숭기 제된 다 인더스트리 마우숨라 안코든 순조가 크라슨 드차 방베다 방버리치나 엔 쿠즈 줄다 토야다 엔딩 워레스거서
déjà c'est pas pangbi cheni de carré c'est nata tanda déjà ji du c'est pas pang de kana ana ba tham chin bi shi thok ro wa
so when one when one abandons the dust of desire, achieves the total extinction of our desire, then one attains the gnosis of the omniscient mind. And then and then when one engages in the activities benefiting the three types of beings, then one does so through psychic displays, miraculous through miraculous physical activities.
아니 두긴 제비 친구로 세가나 아니 두지 삼바다 감다 삼바 팔라냐 하신도 체니 아니 두자랑랑기 아니 가서 삼바다 tum바 아니 숨젠된 그 친구 세가나 아니 삼바다 tum바 최셔야 돼 친구수부터 심바래
And then, in accordance with the predispositions, interests, and so forth of sentient beings, then turning the wheel of Dharma, engaging in the activities of the speech accordingly. So, turning the wheel of the benefit of the teachings for the disciples of the three types.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay. Go ahead.
General question.
It's
been said a number of times that the person of higher faculties will develop insight into emptiness first, and then bodhicitta. The person of lesser faculties will develop bodhicitta first, then insight into emptiness. Does this mean that the hearers and Pratyeka Buddhas are of higher faculties, because that's the order that they develop? They develop insight first, and then bodhicitta afterwards.
Duja ombur number ondo chevrechina and doni to be shrubngelke and the changes in gilki or Duja ombur tubi one chana and ninjingelke and dine and castle doni to be shrubed kiorwa. This is soon chevrechina, niente da ranget in so ombo number consociras, catches no consongela, doni to be shrubed and jail changes in kiorwas.
Not
like that.
Young Koran la ambo no to niche. So, Yando ambo no to niganane, two tegi, number tegi carresana, nela, that Koran turned to Yaja Tarbari. Tabat Tom Nisa mini Jabachan. Tabat Tom Nisa Dodizamba, Tabat Tobala. Ani bangja nyamo bitiba sako nyamo dibi zawa dante mari ba sako wa inza ani dante pon ni sa mi se zaba che an dante la bonje ki nyambo ya ba toni ani dante pon ni so de zamba ne tangal toni to kare
so
dani toni to ni shini taba tini ko lo ji kare
So, it's not like that. In the case of the hearers, whose first objective is to attain liberation, then they go about first examining whether there is that potency or capacity for attaining liberation or not, examining that, and then on the basis of that, then going about the ways to abandon the obscuration of afflictions, which is the ignorance grasping at true existence, and examining whether one can abandon this or not, and finding that there are antidotes to it, and on the basis of those antidotes, then realizing that one can abandon those obscurations, and so thereby go about generating the realization of emptiness to attain liberation.
Turn dilla pane ambo nebe tabatam tunye ji lo jeba la tomba ni to wa unto song shewa chao turn dilla pane kasanga ji shiwa imba pela karo sanang ai ni ji chimbo sa sa namda da chebi ji su leba khong de chiba la ani sanje tamji sa tenzo ma samlo tan de kala sanje simjen theta ko sanje top ma to kam tu samni sanje top gawa de to deni top ni sam mina jaba chedi kala denje poni su tande samba ani simje tamje ko sanje top ni ba se kya toni khwata jewa la to wa la ni simje tamje ko tu sanje top ni ba to wa yino ya che ta ten de la pa ne ambo ne be tabata teni ko lo jeba la yang toni to wa on to song xiao chao
so in the case of the as like how it was explained in the Uttaratantra, then for those who go about first generating compassion, things like so forth, then generate those minds whereby which they come to the conclusion that they must attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And on the basis of that, wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of sentient beings, then they go about trying to realize emptiness, examining whether one can, abandon those ignorance grasping at true existence or not, seeing that there are antidotes and so forth, and then go about their ways to realize emptiness in order to attain enlightenment for the benefit for the benefit of all mother sentiments, that there's no way out other than to attain enlightenment for the sake of sentiments. Then in the case of the hearers, then it's different in the context that with a view to attain one's own liberation, then you set out on this path of examining whether I have the capacity for attaining enlightenment or not, seeing that yes, there are antidotes, and so in that way they are different in this system.
Right, but in the case of beings who develop compassion first, then do they develop? If they develop bodhicitta first or last?
And that Tanda Chenju Samba.
It sounds like they develop great compassion, but maybe before they get to bodhicitta, they develop insight into emptiness and then develop bodhicitta.
That Chenju Samba, that Panta Tambu Ninja Duzuke, and Science Simja Tanja, Dom Kasa Mageva Tamindo Samutaja. Did have a Chenju Samba, and later Chenju Samke and Dine.
Ambunubola, Tangana Tony to be shut up, Dine Chanchu Simke. What the Ambunubulem to Shagorwa. That and then Yandi did Zoe Chanju to the new Guamari.
So
around Jibo Tabatona Hasan Sangwari.
So in the case of the this system is like we're talking about bodhisattvas of a lesser capacity of intelligence who go about that way. But in the case of the hearers, they haven't even gotten the idea of full and complete enlightenment. other than one's own individual liberation. So in the case of the hearers of a high intelligence, then they first engage in the path of realizing and attain liberation, and then after attaining the state of an arhat, the hearer's arhat, then again from the very beginning they engage in the minor path. Yes.
I think there is a difference between the conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta in Frank's question.
단다 크랑기 티베 티원나래야 kunzop sengi da tendam sengi ki kewa indet beso.
Ati kewa chira yo ares. Lai ba. Kunzop semji sena, tendam semji sena, donyo ngosun dobi shira re. Te changji pa, changse papa tona ma diyo mare.
So there's a great difference between conventional bodhicitta and ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta is attained only when becomes an Arya Bodhisattva.
Yenza ngo de kadere sana rang topji zowi changju de la da yang xin nam da ge dong yu wa wo guo den wo ten wo sum de do ni te la yin nan nu bi ani ti jian pa ba gi ani chen ba ji la ani ka so de ten da sim ji si guo de da de ti jian ge tong la ma do ba do to ya ma de.
So what is this is that it is an exalted knower of a Mahayana Arya, focusing on one's goal, the complete enlightenment. That in relation to that, then in relation to that, focusing on its natural purity, the emptiness, which is the cessation, and the setting of all duality. So that knower of an Arya Bodhisattva on the Mahayana path, this is what is attained only when one achieves the path of seeing.
다 군소 섬제에서나 단이 이제 침배 차니 아니 섬제 동아지 나와라 미세비 이제 차니 이제 동아라 차와 된 다기 최고 양박이 이제 제제가나 다 동아라 차와 제게 탑들아라 매바 인자 술라연나 아니 卷군세다 연대 군단 된박이 아니 라만作为商家困难了要把这些呢다 치도 자와 현지 tren도 아니 랑 토자라는 바양다와作为商家有恐怕토바 차오 양박이 셈데라 아니 창주기 셈 시거로 구조 셈지 시거 창주기 셈다 구조 셈지 지바래.
So conventional bodhicitta and bodhicitta are the same thing. So it is brought on by the mind of compassion, which feels unbearably for the sufferings of sentient beings and takes on takes on the complete responsibility to free all sentient beings from suffering, and realizes that oneself doesn't have the means to accomplish this, and who has that means, that capacity is only the perfect and complete state of Buddhahood, and so thereby then one wishes to attain the complete and perfect state of enlightenment for the benefit of all mad sentient beings. So that is the conventional bodhicitta.
Oh, tenida kasore dumba niden. dumba niden ke semje. dumba ni sirgala 현대 텐두니에 dumba jigdang. 아니 조위 차주 랑 조위 차주 teniji dumba jig ni
So this bodhicitta having these two aspirations, the aspiration to fulfill the welfare of others and the aspiration to attain attain the perfect and complete state of enlightenment.
Chanju tenyu ki dumba te ranga chola teni. Ngay la, shandu tenyu ki dumba te shanju ten chogu samyaki. Ta zo yinchi chenpo ta lasam tu shan chigwari. Teki chane, ane ranga zowe chanju tenyu ki, ane sem de la dumbi mirga dayawari. Yinza dumba nyi tenji sem sede.
So as it is stated in the clear ornament of realizations that that bodhicitta is this thought seeking the welfare of others, and in order to fulfill the welfare of others, then wanting to attain the perfect and complete state of enlightenment. So this wish to fulfill the welfare of others is like the cause, and wanting to achieve enlightenment is a support for that cause. The cause being compassion, the extraordinary supreme thought of responsibility for others, and wanting to attain enlightenment is labeled as an aspiration.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know.
I'm not sure if I got this correctly.
Okay.
Questions are relevant, but in the explanation of verse 17, the last verse, the highest lord of all bipeds, who they said referred to the Sambhogakaya.
Tenchi shuluka tamachiyor bahatina kanyi namji chok de kanyi namji chok said.
Oh, kanyi namji chok said.
And then I heard, and this is our refuge. I'm wondering why specifically Sambhogakaya was mentioned in terms of refuge.
Tenchi kanyi namji chok la genge and sangel keps chos chisun swa. And tanda di tenchi di tsikche di la deshek yunduwa ta di longes of a kula kachin and keps joya di chukola keps joya kachin sigores.
Longes of Chikola Jason. This is like Jeffs draw some Chita thing Gani Namji Chosanja Jimden like Jeffs Chi, Jamdo Yoa in Zang, Gang but knew this Gani Suri sent a milliseconds, Minamji Jeffs Choi in Zang. Is that the deep also Minamji Jeffs Choi in Zang?
When we usually take refuge, there is this, I take a refuge in the one who is the most supreme in amongst the bipeds, and so in amongst all the bipeds, in amongst all the beings, people, the most supreme supreme amongst all people is the Buddha. So like that, in that way, it was explained as. But usually the refuge is. I take refuge in the Buddha, who is the most supreme in amongst all the bipeds.
Yeah,
Sure, go ahead.
Well, I just went back to a more general question. Is that everything I perceive, with my consciousness, is something that's projected interdependently in my own mind, right? So where does the suffering of sentient beings reside?
Nye khari thomba di rwa ngares nye khari thomba di the krang chuwa di sore nye khan thomba di ngares sangbi tene chungo res
some then
then dinde son san semjeng ge dunge se de khwa yo res chuwa di sangbi tene chu
nani kalasena
ta nye khan thomba di nye sangbi tene chungo res shas semla tene chungo res shas dinde ani semjeng ge dunge se de khwa ne yo res ore
저런 그 통화 담제 저런 그 살을 때는 좀 말했어.
Everything that you perceive is not all arisen out of your mind.
이제 다 가서 고난 뒤 저와디 용사들 들려인지래. Samsam Bagi Chotamjana, Simji Dani Tam to Troop Sigari.
So the question probably is arising from last time talking about the Chitmatram viewpoint, which is that everything exists in the nature of the mind.
Ilta Samsam Lula Ali Chinagungo Kadajit Nana Ani Na Simji Pacha Sepi Topji Troop Sigari.
So according to this Chitmatran view, then all animate, inanimate entities that appear to us appear as manifestations of the imprints within our mind.
Koyan Kandujila said part, Jabatay Gala Ani Rala Nangjaki Ani Kasore Chinagucho Kainaya Rala Nanji Chadi Wangshitela Sosola Nanji Chadi Ani Rangis Pachasebi Topji Trubaris Yang Shiala Nayagi Ani Nanja Tumowachi Chagore.
So when we examine this, then whatever appears to your mind, all outer, inner, animated, inanimate phenomena that appears to our mind, to your perception, appears as something that which is a manifestation of your own imprints. But what appears to the perception of others, then that is another thing. Shenla Nayati.
Yang Tumuaki. Tumuachi Shakodesi.
Tumuachi.
Tumuachi. Rangla Na Shenla Nayaki. That's a Tumuachi.
You have to designate something that which is a common basis for appearance for you and for others. This is a little bit more difficult concept. Okay, stop here for this. Chushime to tam rira linshe nide gembadi sangye shindo mide bulwardi chokana shinla chuvara sho hideta Ratna mandala kamni atayani Rinpoche maike pananje Keba nyamba me bai Kone kondo Kowe shingam der pendan Chuve ne Siwan tenzin gaso Chabe site pato tenju Kutse rapten che namkara chinle chochuru ge pat Chuve munse pato ne jurichi Chitra kemba tan kundu sambo teyan Ewa teta tamche rabdo ngo Tusum shebe yawa tamche Ngo kala chodo ngo Agi gewe tsawa tek Sambo chiche rabdo ngo wara